I'm no longer just Tori, silly little white girl making dad jokes, and you're no longer
super sexy, hung like a moose.
Oh, brother. Rick.
Sex god. Hey, we're Rick and Tori. Welcome to our podcast.
We are a couple who have been together for 10 years, and these are stories about our extracurricular sextivities.
Our experiences are too good to not be told, they're too important to not be discussed, but mostly they're too fun for you to not listen in.
So,
enjoy the show. Hey, everybody. We're back, and we're better than ever.
Welcome back to Rick and Tori's Extracurricular Sextivities, where you'll hear stories all about our sex adventures.
Right. And we have a really good story for you.
Yeah.
We had a threesome to end all threesomes.
To end?
Not to end them.
To enhance them.
To outperform all threesomes.
This is definitely top 3 threesomes.
Yeah. This was also unexpected. I think that's what the big theme of this is going to be.
Yeah.
Is that these things are found where you least expect it. So for anybody who's despairing and saying, I'm never going to get to do this, you will get to do this.
Just keep an open mind, because I guess we should back up, tell them where we're at, what we're doing.
Okay. Let's start from the top.
Okay, so we get invited to my former company that I was working for, their like end of the year party or what have you. It was just a big party they were throwing, and a bunch of the people I used to work with were just like, you guys should totally come. Like, it would be a lot of fun, and everybody loves you here. And so we were like, heck yeah. And we were kind of excited because we were still kind of talking to this one girl that I had worked with that we thought,
which in some ways was part of your still connection there.
Right. Yeah. And I was like, maybe this will be the night. This will be the time that we get to finally hook up with her.
I don't know. I don't want to go to a party. Is there even going to be any pussy there?
Oh, brother.
I mean, seriously, is there?
Yes.
Can you guarantee it?
No, but that's not why we go to these things.
Oh.
Golly.
Okay, I'll go.
You're getting grumpier and grumpier by the day, baby. I guess it's like, never mind.
I knew the people. And there were going to be cute girls there, for sure.
It makes me think of how we're always trying to compare, like, everybody's always all gung-ho for the alcohol, but nobody wants to really be realistic about, like, sex. And I bet there would be 1,000 people like, there's no alcohol?
Right.
Like, why would we go if there's no alcohol? But you look like a jackass that you're like, there's no pussy? Why am I going to this?
But to me, that's my alcohol.
Yeah, but it still sounds worse for some reason.
I don't care. I have a problem, and I admit it. Just so you know, everybody, I think we've talked about this before. Every time we go somewhere, we say, hey, do you want to talk about expectations?
Yeah.
Because we run at 2 different speeds, Tori and I.
Yep.
But somehow we make it work, which is proof that you can make it work.
Correct.
And what the expectations was, I told you that, look, let's just go have fun. And this is unusual for me. This is why this matters, because Tori can just go someplace and have fun and doesn't expect anything from anybody.
Yeah.
I, on the other hand, different story. So I told her, no, let's just go. It doesn't matter to me on this particular one. Let's just go and have some fun. But if your friend, our friend, is going to be there, I might do a little, some of my seduction moves if given the opportunity, and we'll have her home by midnight, our home. And so we had the talk, and it all went well.
Yeah, and we were feeling good going into this party.
Yeah.
So we get there, and it's a typical party. It's open bar, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And we're mingling around, seeing some people we hadn't seen in a while, talking to this group, hanging out outside with a group, going over into the corner where they're playing pool, just partying. Unfortunately, we see the girl, and we didn't catch the vibe.
No vibe. She didn't have a lot to say to us, and we're like, damn. Okay.
Not like she's not our friend and we're friendly
Yeah,
with.
she was nice enough. There just wasn't a spark there at all. She had her own expectation, talked with herself, and she was talking to other friends. It looks like she wanted to align herself with.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And so we were okay.
Yeah, we're having some drinks. I'm drinking a little whiskey. Tori's drinking some beers. And we're watching people trickle into this party. There was an indoor part and an outdoor part, and we were outside. Yeah. And, things going strong. But then all of a sudden, here comes a girl that Tori has known.
A woman.
Yeah, a woman. Not a girl, a woman. And Tori was kind of always had this thing for this girl.
Yeah.
But you kind of forgot that she was could be ever the part of the equation.
Yeah, because although I had a thing for her, it was like an admiration thing from afar. Like, I just thought she was super fucking gorgeous and totally held herself in a way that I just thought was sexy.
Right.
Like, she was sexy.
And she is a sexy girl.
She's a very sexy girl. But her and I never really like clicked.
Yeah, and you never saw it as a possibility is the way I think of it.
I do, and it's weird because I've talked in previous episodes about how I felt like people were out of my league. That wasn't this.
Right.
I just was like, I don't know my in with this girl. We're just two totally different people. And that's where I love that this night happened because now Rick's by my side, and Rick and I have this thing when we're together where
superpower.
It's a superpower. I'm no longer just Tori, silly little white girl making dad jokes, and you're no longer
super sexy, hung like a moose.
Oh, brother. Rick.
Sex god. I'm not that anymore.
Yeah, he humbles down when he gets with me.
I have to reel it in.
Oh. I don't know what to call you besides I can, but anyways, we come together and we have this like third person that we are together. We've just started talking about this. And
you know what it makes me think of? It's hard to interrupt, but I think of the money, the U.S. money, e pluribus unum, from many one. So we have our own version of that. From the two of us comes one. Yeah, you like that?
I like that a lot.
Yeah, so when you guys see your money, go read that and think of us. E pluribus unum.
That's Rick and Tori.
Yeah.
E pluribus unum.
Yeah. But seriously though, there is this third person that comes out when we're together that's not us.
And this was important for this night because all the time that I knew this girl and I couldn't make the connection with her, it's because we were different ends of the spectrum. But add a little Ricky spice to me, and all of a sudden she's paying attention to me, and I'm like, yes,
presto changeo, yeah. E pluribus unum.
Talk about a wingman. I mean, that's like the definition of like, that's why we are each other's best wing person.
This is gonna sound braggy.
Brag on them, baby.
But we get that a lot of places. It's not just there. When Tori and I are together, and we go to a bar or we're at a store and we interact with somebody, we're very much like we are here on the podcast where we bounce off of each other.
Yeah.
And people just kind of look back and forth at each one of us and they're like, some people will say, you guys are cute, or what is you guys' deal?
You know where we do it a lot is in the checkout line at the grocery store with the cashiers. We're always fucking with the cashiers.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like we just make impressions on people like that.
Yeah. They don't forget us.
Yeah, for fun. So we ran into this girl. Don't have much of
She's happy to see Tori.
Yes.
Kind of happy to see me, if she knew me better.
She was about to be happy to see you.
Yeah, she was actually going to be happy to see that third person that we create.
Yes. And she chats with us for a bit and then just goes away, goes inside and that's that.
And gets herself a drink.
And we think not much of it.
Right. And we carries on, the party carries on for a while, and you see different people. And at one point, I saw her sitting at a table, and I looked over at her, and she looked at me, and I waved. Like, I just did this kind of like little side-to-side wave. Yeah, it wasn't a sexy wave or anything. And she smiled and waved back like the same way. It was kind of a corny way. And again, didn't think anything of it, but we had like a little moment there. But moved on.
Yes. And later on, we're standing there. We were talking to somebody else, and she walks up and she starts in on the conversation. And that's when you were like, you noticed her accent.
Yeah, she had a really strong accent, and she's a black girl. And I said, hey, where are you from? Like, where's your accent from? And she goes, I'm from South Africa. I go, oh. I go, we have listeners in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, you have what? I go, listeners. We have listeners in South Africa, and we have listeners in Kenya.
I was like, for our podcast.
Yeah.
And she's looking back and
podcast?
forth.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, what do you mean podcast?
Yeah. And I don't know why we're in this place where we think everybody knows about our podcast.
Because we have listeners in South Africa and Kenya.
Well, that is true.
Because it feels like we're growing.
Yeah.
And,
which, by the way, I'm going to say really fast because I always like to say this. Guys, our list of countries where we have listeners is just crazy growing. Our latest one is Turkey and Romania.
Yes.
And so welcome Turkey and Romania. And Man of Isle Isle of Man?
Isle of Man.
Isle of Man. And there's a bunch of others. We'll have to post those on Instagram one of these times. Yeah, it's kind of fun. That's what I'll do.
Okay.
All right, done. Okay, so.
Back to the story. She finds out that we have a podcast.
Yes.
What do you mean a podcast? What's it about?
And we're just like,
here we go.
Biting our fingernails. It's a sex podcast. What?
Tori, you don't have a sex podcast.
Yeah, she thinks Tori's just this goody. Tori hates that, by the way, guys. Tori wants to be a sex vixen.
I am a sex vixen.
A sphinx.
They know all about my sex vixenness.
Yeah, and she's well on her way, but there's some holdouts.
I am not, sex is not my whole personality. And if I'm at work, I'm usually working, and I'll make crack jokes. And again, I tell people about my podcast, and I can hang with the coolest of them, but I'm just a little nerd who likes to work and get my shit done.
Right.
And make weird dad jokes and sing musical tunes. So she doesn't believe that I have a sex podcast, and then we show her some reels.
Right. And she might have believed it a little bit, but you didn't waste any time. You're like, check it out.
Let me prove it to you.
And when she saw us in image, like we'd look right now with our headphones and our microphones, she was like, oh my God.
Her reaction was...
Her jaw dropped.
But then it was... intrigue.
Yeah.
We get so many different reactions from just telling somebody about the podcast to showing them some of the reels to, explaining to them just what it is. And sometimes you get that, or you get that's really cool. Like, I'm glad you guys are doing that, but they're not ever going to listen to anything. She was like, what do you mean? Why are you doing that? How are you doing that? Together? How long have you been doing that? What do you like? Do you guys like?
And I'm like, damn, bitch! Why so many questions?
She was firing off questions, but in a good way.
Yeah, she was impressed.
Very impressed.
Yeah, however she was posing her questions, it was from an impressed point. Yeah.
It made me feel good. It made me feel a little famous.
Yeah.
At one point, she orders this guy to go get her a drink.
Because at this point, there's some people, other people that you knew that knew about her podcast were kind of intrigued also because they're watching her hear this for the first time.
Yes.
And she orders like you said, orders one of them to go get her a drink now. And he's just like looking at us and looking at her like,
no,
I don't do that. Yeah. But somehow he walked away like he was going to.
Yeah. But he never showed back up with the drink. And so after a little bit, she was just like, I gotta go get a drink. This is crazy. I have to go get a drink. And she did. She left, and Rick and I kind of excused ourselves from the table we were sitting at, and we were like, whoa.
Yeah.
We're like, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like.
And we didn't really know, but we just, because we sort of thought that was the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, she walked away. Again, I just really didn't think we had a chance.
I know. It was wild.
Did you think we had a chance in that moment?
At that point, no. But I did. What happens with me when that happens, I'm like, well, I can kick in the seduction process, and now I can make anything happen. Because it didn't take long for her to come rushing back out with her drink.
With her drink.
So she turned the corner so fast that her drink swooshed and a little bit kind of bubbled out of the glass and hit the ground. And it did.
Sure.
I saw it happen with my own eyes.
Rick really does live in a fantasy world.
Part of what happens with me is imaginative and the other is real.
Yeah.
But they're very close to each other.
But yeah, she came right back out to us.
Right.
And the three of us are now huddled in a corner so she can ask us.
She goes, okay, I have more questions for you guys.
I have more questions for you.
Yeah. So how do you get together with girls and
where do you meet them?
Yeah,
what do you do?
Where do you meet them? And I'm looking at her like, well, just like we're talking to you right now.
Oh, you know what? Go fucking Tori. This is where Tori comes in and like acts totally out of her norm. Remember?
No, what did you do?
I said.
What did you do?
Oh, by the way, our friend's name is Kendra.
Kendra.
Everybody say hi to Kendra.
Hi, Kendra.
Hi, Kendra. Kendra.
Hey, girl. Hey.
I look at Kendra and because she asked us questions. Now that we're huddled together and it's just the three of us, she's asking us questions like, well, if you pick up a girl, what is it like when you guys are both with them? Is it just the two of you with her or one with her? And what if she doesn't like both of you and blah, 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 and she's asking and I go,
she was job interviewing us.
She really was. She was.
She really was.
And I said, Kendra, do you want to have sex with Rick and I? No, I do not.
And I was so proud of Tori because she's not that forward usually ever.
But it felt clear as day that she was like ready to go there, but she just needed to cross.
It's obvious that you just can't come out and say, will you guys take me to your place and fuck the shit out of me?
That's what it felt like.
And she couldn't say it.
She was beating around the bush and I was like, hey, let's just not beat around the bush. What's the opposite of beating around the bush?
Cut to the chase.
Oh, let's just cut to the chase here.
Yeah.
So she says, no, I don't want to have sex with you. And she almost said it like, what? Are you crazy? But then also like, you guys couldn't handle me even if I wanted to have sex with you.
Yeah, and she didn't say those words, but that was very much the attitude. Like, oh, you guys couldn't handle this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, can't we?
I think she did go, what she said, she's like, I need to come like 5 times. Like 5 or,
Yeah, if I'm with someone, it needs to go for a really long time.
And
so then I ask her, I go, well, do you come from penetration or from external stimulus? And
I was like, here we go.
Yeah. Tori knew I was on then. And I said, because what I like to do is I like to make a girl come externally. And as soon as she comes externally, then I penetrate her. And she goes, well, how do you do that?
Oh, that's what you mean. Yeah,
that's right. She goes, how do you do that?
More details, please.
And I go, well, I lick your pussy and and excite the clitoris. She goes, no, but how do you know where to do it?
Yes.
Yeah. And she goes, I want details. And I was like, okay. I go, what I do is I go down there, working my way down your leg and getting the touch going. And then I start to lick the labia majora. I apply different pressure on the labia majora from the top to the bottom to see if I get a response. And then I work my tongue inside into the labia minora. And from there, I do the same thing, look for pressure points. And I start to feel you move around at that point. And I can tell exactly where you're most sensitive. And then I take my tongue and I go right up to the external part of your clitoris. And I start applying pressure on that. That doesn't work for everybody on the clitoris, but I bet it does for you.
And she's like, okay, I get it.
Oh my God.
I get it.
Yeah, she kind of stiffened up like she was feeling me doing it. Like she was really getting
it. She felt your words.
Yes, she sure did.
Pussy.
And that was it. And
then I asked her again, Kendra, do you want to have sex with Rick and I? No, I didn't. But we were all standing there and it was so funny because this is all happening and this is like the temperature of our conversation. Yeah. But we're still at a party where we know people.
And I think people could tell that there was something intense going on between us. I would have loved to have gotten a point of view from the outside and watch the three of us all huddled together.
Because I'm sure we were all just moving closer and closer.
You can tell when people are telling secrets.
Yes.
Like,
that's
don't
it.
tell anybody, but I licked the labia majora until a girl comes. And and by the way, guys, not to get all excited again, what I just described, that's called pleasure mapping, and you can do it too for only $5.99. No, but seriously, it's called pleasure mapping, and you can do this. So it's not just with eating pussy. It's anytime you're with a partner and you're starting to get to know that partner. You can do it on the neck when you kiss girls on the neck, or guys, or whoever it is, and you can do it when you kiss. Don't just kiss, but kiss differently. Like, you can squeeze the lips with your lips. You can suck on a lip. Someone might suck your lip, and then you respond back. Or there's some people like tongue, other people's don't. But
I really like when he puts his tongue just on like the front of my teeth.
Yeah.
That gets me going.
That's just me getting the lipstick off, baby. That wasn't even supposed to be part of the kiss. No, just kidding.
I don't really like that part anyways. I don't know why he keeps doing it.
Yeah,
No, I'm just kidding.
Touche. No, but that's called pleasure mapping. And that's, you owe it to yourself and to your partner to do that, is go look for those spots that everybody gets turned on from pressure from a different place.
Yes.
And especially the pussy.
The pussy.
The pussy is a very tricky place.
Yes. Take your time.
Yes,
be patient. Everybody's different.
Everybody is now, with the advent of the internet. Everybody knows that the clitoris is not just the little nub on the top of the clitoral area, or the vaginal area. It actually goes into the body, into the cavity of the body, and around the vagina. So you got to go find those places, and if you can hit all of them at the same time, forget it.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. It's explosion time. So anyway,
back to the story.
That may or may not make it into the show. But
I think it should.
Yeah.
It'll stay. Don't you worry.
So she was sold. She I swear she came right there. She was kind of like shaking a little bit. So
we felt like there's people still kind of like swarming around, and they kept coming up to our little threesome group.
Yeah.
And we would just stop talking.
Yeah, we would stop talking and make them feel uncomfortable.
And it was like, then they would just walk away. And one of the people that came up was our love interest.
Yes.
And it was like so awkward, because we were like,
because we're looking at her like, can we help you?
But I was also like, but we still kind of we like her. We want
some.
Would you like to come on with us?
It's like, hey, we were just interviewing Kendra here for a threesome, but you can make it a foursome? She's already been to 3 interviews.
But it's weird, because I feel like that was weird for her, because she was that for us.
Yeah.
And she
might have been in that exact position at some
And she's
point.
like, wait, why are they doing that with another girl?
Yeah.
Right in front of me. And
Right.
it's like, I don't know. That was just an interesting part of it. And but we're still talking with her. And then finally we were just like, we should just talk about this at home, because there were so many people that kept coming up to our group that we were just like, okay, this is getting awkward.
And she was still intrigued. And so I said, hey, you should come over to our place. I'll make us some cocktails there.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, oh, I don't know. And
I was like, we don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
We can just talk about it.
We can talk about it.
We found out that we live on the way to her place. So if we wanted
and
to.
she was just going to take an Uber anyway. And we're like, well, we drove here. Let's just get in the car. And she agreed.
Yeah. And so we get home, we go in, and she's intrigued by our apartment.
Yeah.
Weirdest compliment we've gotten on our apartment.
Right.
She's like, oh, titties. You know, she looks at the naked girl on the wall when you first walk in, and then she turns the corner, sees a couple more nude photographs, and then sees all our sexual artwork that we have.
Yeah, because I think we've mentioned this. I shoot a lot of nude photography, so my work is on the walls.
Yes.
Yeah. And so when you first walk into our place, that is the first thing you see.
But then we also have like some really cool sensual wallpaper, and then 2 framed pieces from Alpha Channeling. Shout out Alpha Channeling.
Yeah, Alpha Channeling. Found him on the internet.
Found him on the
Him or
internet.
her. We don't know who. I think it's a guy.
I don't know. She's looking around. She goes, this is like a trap house. And we were like, what?
Trap house.
Okay.
Well, and to be fair, she said it when she finally walked over to where our bed is, and it's all steel, and it's got a bondage ring hanging from a bar that's across it.
That's true. So we were like, yeah, welcome to the trap house.
Yeah.
And she's like, let's take a shot. Let's just take a shot. You have tequila? We were like, yeah, fuck yeah, we got tequila. And then we're standing there. We always end up huddling like right by in between our kitchen and our living room.
It seems that as of late, when we have somebody over that we're interested in, we wait too long and too many drinks in before we start kind of approaching the subject. And by that time, it's kind of too late. We're too drunk, too tired, too whatever. And it gets sloppy and all that. And so this girl, we've just had this long conversation with her that she's pretty much put her cards down. That's I like this stuff, and I just don't know if I want to do it with you two because she still didn't trust us completely.
Yeah.
So we've had our shot, and I'm looking at her, and she's looking at me. Which, by the way, guys. When I look back on this, I always talk about, mostly to Tori, about how I know the look. And I realized, remember when I just said a while ago that I looked across and she was at a table and I waved at her real awkwardly and then she waved back? I did that because now that when I thought back on it, I got the look.
You got the look.
I had she was like we always say, she wasn't on our bingo card.
Yeah.
And so
so you overlooked the look.
Yeah, I overlooked the look, but then I realized that was the look. Because now I'm staring at her in the eye at our place and we're just looking at each other. And so I go in for a kiss because I'm like, as Tori said, we're not going to waste time.
Yeah.
I'm going to see where we are on this. That's putting my toes in the water.
Right.
Getting the temperature. So I go in for a kiss. And I got rejected.
She backs up.
Yeah, she backs up.
She's like, whoa.
She goes, no. And I go, okay.
And she looks at me.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's okay. I was like, genuinely, like, Kendra, we don't have to do anything. And I just kind of like reach my hand out and she grabs my hand. And so then she kind of just, if Rick was almost in between us, she's like scoots next to him and he takes a step back and then she scoots towards me.
Right.
And I was like, it's okay. And so then she starts getting closer to me and then she's leaning in, like, she's not leaning into me, but she's just getting really, really close. And then I'm looking at her and now I'm getting the look. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is the look.
This is what Rick's always talking about.
But I also just watched him get rejected.
So I start texting Tori. Kiss her now.
That's
kiss
the
her
look.
Now.
It's interesting though because it says so much to how far I've come in this whole thing because that rejection would have taken me in a complete different direction.
Yeah, she doesn't want to do this.
2 years ago, I would have been like, no. We are not going there. She said no, that's all we need. One, and I was like, but her body language was totally saying she wanted to do it.
She needed a woman's touch.
She did.
Yes.
And she wanted to start with me. And so she comes to me and we just start getting closer and closer. And all of a sudden, like our breasts are touching and then our belly buttons are touching and we're so close. And our lips, like we're leaning into each other, but neither one of us ever puckered. We just started like mushing our lips together and she's got these big beautiful juicy black girl lips and we're just rubbing our lips together and then simultaneously we just look at each other and we're like, nice to meet you. And
they said the same thing at the same time.
Same fucking time. And so then I just like grab behind her hair and I just start like kissing her, but like it's slow and it's gentle, but it's passionate. And then and we like back up and I was just like, I kind of gave her that look like, holy shit. Like, because you felt the spark. I don't know what it was.
I'm feeling it right now.
You felt it, man. And so then she kind of like giggles and looks down and then looks over at Rick like, okay, now I'll kiss you.
Right.
And so then
our kiss was much different.
Way different. Like, okay, you go explain your kiss.
Well, or
do you want me to explain it?
She walks up close to me and our tits touch together and then our belly buttons. Now, to be fair, my moobs stick out a lot further than Tori's, so it happened quick. No, you describe it. I want to hear what you thought.
Well, it's because I was like, ours was slow and passionate and like sensual, and then she looks over at Rick and Rick kind of just like brings her in almost at the waist and then just like puts one hand behind her head and just like starts like making out, but then she's just like pushing right back almost to where like she's lifting up a leg because she's like ready to like get in his mouth.
She wants to get handled.
Yeah, and I was like, that was different than what I just got.
Yeah, basically it was tongues in mouth. And then I started kind of suckling on her lips, and then she did mine, and then we kind of pulled away and then went back in.
And then so I get like up next to them, and she turns to me, slows it right back down. And I was like, wow.
This girl has 2 speeds.
I was like,
she's state of the art.
What a woman. And so we were just like, that one just like blew our fucking minds. Like we were like, okay.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I'm going to go pee. Where's the bathroom? You know, she's just like, okay, I'm done fucking with you guys. That's all you get. That's kind of how it felt, right?
Yeah.
And so she's like, goes to the bathroom. I show her where it's at real quick. And so she's going, and I stayed with you, and I'm just like, you know, Rick and I were like, hee, this is so cool. Like, so then I go over to the bathroom because I'm like, okay, clearly she's peed already, and I'm walking over there. I'm like, oh, well, the door is wide open, so she doesn't mind if she just like pees with the door open. But she was done peeing, and she was standing there, and she's like fixing her hair, and she's like, oh, Tori, this is crazy. Like, I can't believe we're doing this. And I was like, don't you like it? Like, I was on, baby. Like, but I was also.
And I said, what are you 2 doing in there? I didn't do that.
Yeah. So
you were there for a while, and I was staying busy. You know, because I didn't want to, I was like, if there's any chemistry going on, I wanted to keep going. I don't want to be disrupting that. And so I just stayed busy. I was like, okay, let me close the cap to the tequila bottle. And, you know, like, no, they're going to want some more. Let me take the cap. No, leave the cap on. Take there. No, it's okay. Just leave the fucking bottle there. And no, but I'm like trying to give them time, and they're talking, but then I hear the talking just stop. And I'm like, okay, just stay still. It's not time. 1001, 1002, 1003. I don't know how long I waited, but I was like, I think it's been long enough. Let me see what's happening.
And so you walk in.
Yeah, I walk over to the bathroom, door's still open, and I walk up and I look in, and her leg was hiked up.
Kendra's leg.
Yeah, Kendra's leg was hiked up. Tori's on her knees, and her face is just buried in her pussy. And Tori's just going to town, and Kendra's face is looking up at the ceiling, and her mouth is just wide open, and she's loving every second of it. And then she kind of looks down and sees me, and I walk up towards her, and I help her with her leg.
You hold her leg.
Yeah,
up.
I hold her leg as if I'm kind of like fucking her standing up, but to give Tori access. And now she can relax her leg in my hand, and her and I are just start making out while you're eating her pussy. And that makes it even greater because her mouth is really animated because she's feeling you.
Yeah.
And she's mouth fucking me.
Yeah.
And it was nice.
So let me tell you how we got there, guys.
Oh yeah, Tori. So while I'm waiting in the kitchen,
while Rick's over there.
They're fidgeting with a tequila bottle.
I was cool as a cucumber. We totally switched roles. No, I go in there and we're just talking. I don't know what we were talking about. I was probably just like wooing her, and she's like, ooh, like, I can't believe this. We could feel something. I'm telling you, that kiss was something. And she liked it. And I think that's what she kept saying. She's like, I like you, Tori. I like you. And I just, as she's talking to me, I'm just really close to her, and I just start reaching down, and I'm just kind of gently rubbing on the outside of her pants, her pussy. I'm just kind of just rubbing it just nicely. And then she's like, oh my God. She's like, that feels good. And so we're talking, and then I go down there, but I don't pull her pants off. I just start kind of nibbling on the outside of her pants, and almost like just kind of rubbing the bottom of my teeth on.
Nice.
Yeah. I was like, I've seen this in the porno flicks. So I was like, I want to try that. And
I've never seen that in the porno flicks.
No, I've seen it where like, they do it on the underwear. And she was wearing like spandex pants kind of thing, but they were like the stylish kind. So I'm just trying to get some pressure on the outside of her pants. And then next thing you know, I just started pulling them down. And then I got down in there, and she just lifted her foot up on her own. And that gave me access to go kind of put my hand on her her big juicy ass, and then that's when Rick walked in, and I was into it, and so then he joins, and then we all kind of just like pull away from each other. She still has her pants on; they were to her ankles, and she still has her shoes on, but she's like now she's kind of like walking out to
because I was like, let's go to the bed.
Yeah,
and we didn't make it to the bed.
No.
She puts her hands up on this wall that's like a divider for the dining area and the living area, and then just kind of arches her back and sticks her ass out. And guys, so this girl, again, she's a South African girl, real real dark skin, beautiful color, and
I want to say caramel
She was
color.
probably like 5'6". Yeah, about 5'6". And you know when you hear in the rap song about thin waist, big ass, or what do they say that?
Yeah,
that was her.
Yeah,
beautiful physique.
If you're thinking of a thick, big ass, go about 5 times bigger.
Yeah,
like big.
Yeah, but
ass,
small waist.
Small waist.
And so when she did that little move where she put her hands up on the wall and then arched her back and stuck her ass out, I just dropped to my knees.
She got the body
and
of a
I buried
giant.
my face in that ass.
Talk about buried.
Yeah, Tori said my face just disappeared.
And he's got a big head.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can tell because there's not a lot of like things to compare it to, but it's a large oblong head, and it was just gone.
Yeah.
Like I just saw the back of his head, and I was like, everything okay in there? No.
To be able to eat this ass and pussy, you had to spread her ass cheeks apart.
Yes.
And I loved it. And she's just like, oh my God, you love eating ass, and I love having my ass eaten.
Yeah.
And I was like,
she was verbal.
Yeah.
I liked that she talked about what was happening.
And so I did not want to stop, but had to come up for some air.
It's funny because right when you were coming up for air, I was like, I'm going to join in on this. And I go to the front side of her. There was enough room on the front side.
Because of the way she had her back arched and ass out. She left a cavity there for Tori to climb into.
Yep. And I started eating her pussy from the front. And so she's pushing her pussy forward, but then Rick goes back in on the backside. So we are just hosting her up.
Yeah.
From the groin area.
Yeah. We Eiffel Towered her.
Is that what they call it? Okay, so it wasn't the Eiffel Tower, but it was the...
We thought we were Eiffel Towering the whole time, and it turns out we weren't.
Right.
We were Empire State Building.
Yeah. I was eating her pussy. Rick was eating her from the back, but she was standing up. So we were both on our knees, dropped to the ground, and giving her the service.
She was trying to feed the both of us.
Yes, giving her the service that she deserved.
Right. And then we kind of did that for a while, and then
pulled away and pushed her over to the bed. And I was like, Kendra, let me get your shoes off for you. And I was
by the way, she still had her shoes and pants on her ankles.
Her pants were just dropped to her ankles.
She was still on the fence as to whether she wanted to be with us or not.
And it felt like if the shoes came off, it was game over. Like she was like, I'm in if my shoes come off. But I sit her on the bed and I go to take her shoes off and no. And I was like, oh, come on. And
can you believe that? She still thinks she's just there for a spell and I'm going to be leaving soon.
Yeah. Oh. And then I was like, all right. And I back up and do, but then you kind of sneak your way in and you start eating her pussy while she's sitting there and she just drops to her back and she's like, oh my God. And I was like, there he goes to the labia minora, up to the pushing pressure. Right. He's finding it.
And it turns out that she is very turned on when I put pressure on the clitoris itself.
Yeah, me too.
I'm a clit queen. Definitely liked the feeling in the majora and the minora area, but it's the clit is usually the go-to place. Mm-hmm. Unless you can apply pressure on the rest of the clitoris, which extends itself around the vaginal opening.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think. I ate her pussy a few times, but I don't think I pay as much attention.
Right. Yeah. I'm constantly feeling for the pulse. So that's when she finally relented
and
said,
wiggled her shoes and pants off.
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let you eat her out for quite a while.
Right. She kind of got off and it kind of slowed down. And then you guys went to bed and you were like, get us another shot. And so I went, poured a shot for everybody, came back to the bed with shots.
And then that's when we were like, okay, your turn.
Yeah.
And we lay you on your back.
Right.
And Rick has his pants on.
Yeah.
And everybody's got their pants on.
Yeah, what's with everybody with that? Tori was naked by this time, by the way.
I was naked from the bathroom.
Yeah, she was naked
like,
long ago.
I'm eating pussy and I'm just like taking my clothes off. I just like being naked. Get the clothes out of the fucking way, please. So we wiggle your pants off.
Right.
And she grabs your dick. And so I just go straight into your balls. And your dick at this point was not hard.
No, and we were talking about this. I was explaining to Tori that my dick got hard the minute I looked at her to go in for the kiss. Just the thought of going and kissing those beautiful lips of hers made me hard. So then she rejects me. Dick kind of stops, says, okay, this was a false alarm. Then you guys start making out, and then my dick goes back up. And then I walk into the bathroom. Dick's hard as a rock.
But it goes probably back down when you're panicking in the kitchen.
Yeah, and then we're like moving around, so back down. Then I bury my head in her ass. Dick's hard as a rock. Then I go get shots for you guys. Dick is back down. I'm like, what the fuck, man? It was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So by the time I'm laying on the bed and they're pulling my pants off, yeah, I'm not hard now. But it was. Yeah, it took one suck of a testicle and it was like back up at attention.
Yeah, she grabs your dick and it starts kind of like going to suck it to get it hard. Which queens will grab a soft dick.
Yeah, and start yanking on it. You know.
Yes.
But it's kind of cool though because then you went down to the balls and then I could feel my dick growing inside of her mouth.
Yeah.
That's the best.
It's the best.
It doesn't get any better than that.
So we're pleasuring you, which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And once your dick got hard, I think she like backed up and I hopped on top of you. And I started just riding you, like facing you.
Yeah.
And
you just cowgirled me.
Yeah. And but it was nice because I also now I'm like showing her like if you wanna take a turn, I grab the big ring and the bar that's above our bed because it makes it really nice and easy to ride him.
Yeah.
Because you just like hold on with your arms so you can use your legs, but they don't wear out.
Right.
And so I'm doing that, but then she just buries her face in my tits and starts suckling my tits. And I have to say, I don't know what she did when she sucked tits.
She sucks good.
I think she was biting a little bit, like nibbling a little bit while she was sucking because I had never gotten so much satisfaction or stimulus from nipple sucking. And I like my nipples to be sucked, but it takes a little bit to get there. But it was like the second her mouth attached to my titty, it was like, it was intense. I think she was nibbling. Anyway, so she's doing that and I'm riding you, but then I'm like slowing down because I'm like, I don't want my boob to detach from her mouth. And, but then she hops on, she whips her leg around.
Yeah, she raises her right leg up over me.
It's funny because she kind of sat on your chest, but you were like, no.
Yeah.
Up here, like back it up, honey.
Yeah.
And so she did. She swiggled her way back and like sat on your face. But she was facing me.
God damn.
Her ass, guys.
Yeah. I couldn't breathe. But I wasn't going to tell her to stop. There's no way.
She sat on your face.
Yeah, when that girl sits on a face, she sits on a face. And I was just like, my tongue went straight into her pussy, right into the vaginal opening, like deep inside. And she's just grinding on my face. Mm-hmm. And so what I did is, as I do a couple of strokes, I turn my chin up and head back and take a breath and then go back in. It was deep sea diving, and
you needed a snorkel so that you could like breathe out that little tube.
So I have this thing, guys, that if a girl is sucking my balls, that's dangerous territory. It can hurt like big time if it's done wrong. But if it does hurt, I will not say anything because if you say, ugh, then they stop altogether. And I don't want anybody to stop.
They don't ease up.
I just want somebody to ease up. But you can't, no, they don't. It's either you get your balls sucked or you don't. And so I take the pain. Because I don't want anybody to stop anything.
I will survive this. I promise you.
Yeah, I will. And usually the easing up happens naturally.
Yeah.
And then I'm good to go. But
just suck it up.
Yeah, so I didn't want her to ease up from sitting that fat ass on my, and I mean fat in the good way with a pH.
And so we're up above, we're kind of making out. I'm leaning in. She kept her bra on, but her blouse like was open. And so I'm like pulling her tit out of her bra and I'm sucking on her tits a little bit. And she had also really big tits too, but she kind of just kept them in the bra.
Yeah.
She liked to keep.
She didn't like to set them free.
Yeah.
And she had great nipples to suck on too.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. They were like really soft.
Yeah.
So we got to play with them, but they just stayed. They had their little.
They were like they were like docking stations.
They were like.
She had 2 docking stations for her tits. They were charging up. So.
So I hop off his dick after riding it for quite a while, and she scoots her way down. Yeah. And she wants to do like a reverse cowgirl. Like she's still facing away from him. So she's going to do reverse cowgirl. So I just go and I grab his dick and try to like put it in her pussy. She takes his leg and pushes them together. And now I knew this was going to throw Rick because every time we do reverse cowgirl, he has his legs open. I put the bottom half of my legs under his thighs. And then I squat backwards.
Sometimes just one leg too.
Yes.
Where you're kind of like.
Yes, or I'll straddle one leg and one leg's under your one thigh.
And the penetration in that position is amazing.
It goes in perfectly, but she just pushed his legs together and straddled on top of him.
Yeah.
And I knew that like the dick's going to go in, but you like to fuck. And I feel like as the guy in that situation, you kind of are like limited to your movement.
Yeah, I couldn't do my stroking along with hers to get in rhythm with her.
Yeah. And so I put the dick in there, but it would slip out. And then she put it back in and then it'd slip out. And it was like, fuck, but then they're like, you guys got in a little bit of a rhythm.
Yeah, and went for just a little bit. But then
you moved to the next position.
Yeah, then what I did is then I sat up with her still in position.
That's what it was.
And then removed myself from underneath of her and then left her in the doggy position.
Yes.
Because then her upper body fell over and then I fucked her doggy style. And then I was like, oh, yes. Okay, now here we go.
And now Rick's hammering away at her. Mm-hmm. Boom, boom, boom. And her ass is just hitting his belly. And so I'm just.
Give it a couple of spanks every once in a while.
Yeah. And I'm watching and I'm like, oh my God. and I'm just sitting there, but I just start naturally masturbating. I'm turned on like crazy, but I'm on my knees, like on the other half of the bed and I'm masturbating. And she's like, bring it here. And I was like, scoot over to her. And
so delicious.
And I put my pussy in her face a little bit. And so she's kind of looking at it and you're pounding her pussy.
Mm-hmm. And when that stuff starts happening and I'm watching the 2 girls doing other things, I just start going harder and harder. And it just, at some point I just stopped. And I just fell back and was just gasping for air. And so I kind of, you guys start making out?
Yeah, we kind of like fall onto each other's bodies and like we're kind of rolling around in the bed.
And then I got up and I went and sat in a chair to catch my breath and I was just watching them.
And this was insane. At this point, like Kendra and I just kind of lock in. It's just we're getting to have some good girl on girl lesbian action right now. But she did this thing where I'm not going to even attempt to do her accent because I can't do a South African accent, but she has a very strong South African accent.
Right.
I don't look it up because I'm not going to butcher it and embarrass myself. Do you want me to eat you out? Do you want me to lick your pussy? And I was like, yeah, do it. And so she keeps kind of scooting up closer and closer. And I'm laying back with my knees hiked up and my legs just spread wide open. And she's laying on her belly, looking at my pussy. She's got her arms under my legs and we're just hanging out there, but she never really leaned in to start eating my pussy. She just kept asking me, do you want me to lick it? Do you want me to lick it? You want me to lick that pussy? And I was like, yeah. She's like, tell me what you want. And I was like, okay. And I was just, I'm like, oh my God, like my pussy, please. And she's so sexy and she's got these beautiful big eyes and these juicy lips and just this soft skin and so it was kind of like when I was watching you fuck her, I was like, naturally my hand is just going to start hitting my clit because I like to masturbate, and so I just start kind of rubbing my clit and she's like, oh, you like that, and so then it was like I was masturbating, so then she'd go in for like a little lick to just kind of assist. And then she'd go in for a lick. And then I was like verbally starting to moan because I'm so turned on. Like
I saw the whole thing.
and so we're in this space. It's everything blacked out of like from left to right, up to down. It was just her and I, and we're both just looking at each other. She's looking up at me. And when I start to like verbalize my like I'm about to come, basically, she just pushes my hand away and just like finishes me. And then I'm just like, I scream and I'm just like, yes. And I'm screaming and she's just like sucking it. And I was like, suck my clit. Like it feels so good. And she's drinking my juice. And that's how I came.
Yeah. And so, and I'm by that time, like I'm stroking my dick and because I'm hard again. And at somewhere in there, I had gotten up and grabbed a glass of water. Then I walk up to you guys and she looked at me and she goes, oh my God, I forgot that you were here. And she goes, did you just watch that whole thing? I go, yeah, it was amazing. She goes, but my ass was just up in the air. You just sat there and looked at my ass. I go, oh yeah. And then we all started laughing. And then they were like, hey, can you get us another shot?
Yeah,
I was like,
drinking.
Yeah. So I went and poured a tequila for everybody. And we all had a shot. Tori and Kendra were in the bed and I was still standing.
Yeah.
Grabbed the glasses, put them down, and I turn around and she's taking her tits out of her docking stations. And
out of her.
Yeah.
And she has the bra.
Yeah, and she starts to lick her tits looking at me. And I'm like, okay, here we go again.
She was looking at me too, love.
Yeah. Well, I don't see that. I just see her looking at me. And she probably looked at you more than me, but all I saw was she was looking at me. So anyway, I'm like, okay. And so my first action is to just go right back down on her. Mm-hmm. And I start eating her pussy again.
I felt like she was offering up her body for more play.
Yes.
She like was
that was her way of saying I'm ready to go again.
Not only lifting up her tits and licking them and making eye contact with you, but then she's like opening her legs with her knees up. Like, yes. Come here.
Yeah.
What do you want? I've got things for you.
Yeah.
And Rick's like,
I'll take whatever you have. So yes, I go down and start eating her pussy again, eating her ass. And I kind of laid her a little bit on her side while I'm doing it. And then she's in perfect position to do my favorite position. Mm-hmm. That is...
And he's talked about this before.
Yeah, I've talked about it before. It's where she's kind of almost laying on her stomach and she's got her left leg hiked up, knee up, and the other leg is extended with her thigh down, like touching the bed. And it just kind of opens up the pussy and it kind of... it plumps the ass too, and her ass didn't need plumping. And I come in from behind and just start fucking her, and it just feels so good. It kind of, she already had, a nice fitting pussy, but it tightens things up even more, and you feel yourself just pushing up against her ass, and I'm fucking her hard.
And I know this is his favorite position, so I'm like, yeah, baby.
Yeah,
like
Tori's hyping me up.
I am, and I reach behind too, and I start just kind of slapping his balls from underneath his ass, because I know that I can like slap his balls, but then also kind of slap her
pussy and ass.
Her pussy a little bit.
Yeah. And so I went at that for a good little while and just was doing it so hard again. It just like, I take myself to beyond my capabilities, basically. And,
you get excited,
yeah,
love.
I do. And so I just
But mind you guys, he's not like two pump chumping it. Like
right,
he's
no,
fucking
yeah,
and fucking and
I'm
fucking.
going hard,
But
yeah.
he's just like, he's not letting up. He's
Yeah.
like, I gotta go for his, and that's what's always exciting is that you are doing it right. And so it's like, it feels good for both
Yeah,
parties.
and it's like full strokes. I mean, I'm pulling it out just to where the tip's about to come out, and off it goes in all the way balls deep, and then back out, balls deep, back out, and
yeah.
and so then I just pull out and roll over and roll over onto my back into the center of the bed because we were kind of on the edge of the bed, and so I'm laying on the bed, just breathing, catching my breath, and Tori then just climbs on top of me and starts riding me.
Yes.
In not reverse cowgirl, but regular cowgirl.
Yeah.
And then she asks me, she goes, what do you want me to do? And I was like, I want to eat that pussy some more. So then while Tori's riding me, she straddles me again, but this time she's facing away from Tori.
Right.
And is leaning up against the head of the bed, which, we have a steel bed. So she's just hanging off the ledge of that and is just like grinding her pussy into my face. Yeah.
Riding his face, properly riding his face.
Just twerking on it. And all of a sudden I hear her start to go, yes, I'm coming. And then all of a sudden she starts banging on the wall. Yeah,
my God.
Yeah, oh my God. And she's banging, and we're like, holy fuck.
That's our neighbor.
Yeah, that's our neighbor's place.
And I'm just like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Like it is so late. And
but we totally ignore it because I know me, I'm like, it's like the ball slap. It's like the ball thing. It's like, I don't care.
I know.
This feels too good. I am not going to do anything to stop this.
It was so, oh my God.
And of course, Tori and I got into a disagreement over this because I'm thinking, yeah, I ate that pussy so good that she starts beating on the wall.
And I was like, no, love. I was behind her. I was like massaging her butthole. And he's like, no, you weren't. I was like, yeah, I was. Like, I was a part of that.
I kind of remember now. I don't want to admit it, but I remember that Tori was riding my dick when that was all going on.
Right.
So, of course, you were there and you saw that ass. And
it also could say, even if you didn't believe that I was like fingering the ass, my riding your dick was making you a better pussy eater, therefore making her come harder.
And whatever.
We're a team, motherfucker.
Right, I know, I forget sometimes. But it was, but Tori did mention too, though, that she could tell it was turning me on so much that you could feel my dick getting
your dick was so hard in my pussy.
Yeah.
So hard. Especially when she started like, I'm coming.
Yeah.
And she, oh my God, she banged on the wall. Like, this is our direct, like, I
think it goes into their living room or something. She's like smacking the wall.
No, look, guys, we are really good, kind neighbors. These guys are moving out in a couple months. We're fine. We're totally good. So that was fucking hilarious. But that did kind of all make us like, whoa, we fall off of Rick, in our riding positions and fall off of him and kind of catch our breath.
And then she decides then she's going to get on me again and try the reverse cowgirl thing again.
Right.
Yeah. This time more successfully because I'm centered on the bed. And that matters because our bondage ring is on a steel cross beam, and girls love that. Tori loves that.
I love that
because they can grab onto it, and it helps them with riding a dick.
Yes.
And so she grabs that ring and the crossbar, and is just squatted down on my dick and is just pumping. She's not really riding. She's just like jackhammering it.
Boom,
yeah,
boom,
bam,
boom.
Bam, bam.
Well, because like when I reverse cowgirl, I get on my knees and I kind of use my ass.
Tori kind of twerks on my dick.
Yes.
It fucking feels amazing.
Yes. But she did the whole like squat thing.
Yeah, she's
and
squatting.
She was bouncing up and down. Like her.
And what struck me about it was, and this is what's great about different skin colors, is that I'm Mexican, but I'm a light Mexican, but my dick is kind of brown. It's like a tanned dick.
It is a tanned dick.
Yeah, and so, but she's riding it, and I'm looking down, and I'm watching my dick disappear, come back, disappear, come back. And her skin is so dark that my dick looked lily white. It looked like a white t-shirt. And I was like, oh my God, that's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Like, welcome to my world.
Oh, it was amazing. And she could only take so much of that.
Yeah.
That takes some serious
Thigh power.
Yeah, exactly. Even with the help of the cross beam and the,
Yeah.
the bondage ring.
Yeah, she exhausted herself. And we're all just chilling on the bed now, talking. Rick's laying back. You know, you kind of, one person's cuddled up against him, the other person's just kind of like chilling up against a bar. You know, because we've got the canopies and you got up. I think we all took a pee break.
Yeah.
And we're chilling, and it kind of seems like, okay, we did
that's it. That was great. All right.
you know, round of applause for everybody. And we're chilling, and you even, I think, went as far as putting your button up on to like, all right, we'll probably take her home soon. And then next thing you know, she just like comes back out of the bathroom, and she sits on the bed. Just opens up her legs.
Yeah, she looks at me and opens up her legs and starts shimmying her way to the edge of the bed.
And I'm like,
and
dude, when you eat someone out that good and they like to be eaten out, and she did say she wanted to come 5 times. And
but I think we were on our 7th time.
Yeah, I think we went up.
I was counting.
A few past 5.
Yeah.
Which she might not have had before. Maybe 5 was her limit, and that's why she knew she needed 5, but she didn't know she could get.
Yes. It wasn't her limit. It was the limit that she found with other people.
Yes. Until she met Rick and Tori.
Right. Then there was us.
So you started eating her out. You said, oh, you want some more?
I go, you want some more? And so I just went to the edge of the bed and just started eating her pussy. And I have my arms under her, or my forearms under her ass, and I'm gripping her tight with my hands on her waist. And I'm locked in, and I'm just eating that pussy. Like, as hard as this is to believe, I'm eating it like more vigorously than I was at any of the other times, because I'm like, fuck, we got to put this girl down. Or something like that. But anyway, I'm eating her pussy, and then I start working to her ass because she loves that too. Her legs are all the way back, but we start shimmying up the bed, or she's trying to get away from me, but I will not let go of her. And so we're sliding up the bed. And at that point, she kind of goes over to her side, and this is where Tori comes in.
Yeah, you like worked your way, I feel like, to her backside. And so I kind of come in and I sneak into the front. And now we're both like from the very beginning when we were doing that thing where I was on her pussy and you were in her ass.
Now we're doing it sideways that way.
We're horizontally doing it.
Yes. Yeah, horizontally doing it. Yeah.
And I'm eating her pussy. I'm just licking it. And I know Rick's back there doing the same, but then all of a sudden.
Yeah, our tongues are, as I'm licking her and then Tori's licking her, our tongues come within millimeters of each other, and then we go away, and it's just making a sound. Both of us are just like, and
because she's wet.
Yeah, she's wet, and and I just started laughing. It was just so amazing to me that I was like, this isn't real. And
I hear Rick laughing, and I'm like, pull yourself together.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm telling myself, dude, pull yourself together. Don't just start bursting out into laughter. And so I did. I just kept saying, keep eating that ass, keep eating that ass. And we did for a while, and then she started saying she was coming again. And then we just kind of stopped there, and I think she was ready to get fucked again, and I just told Tori, I told both of them actually, I said, guys, my dick's done.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get hard again.
I don't think I can
get hard. Baby, grab the strap on.
And I looked at her, I was like, really? And she said, yeah, get
it.
And she didn't know what was happening.
No, because then we both got up, and I was like grabbing one part, you were grabbing the other. Like I was grabbing the dildo, and you were grabbing the strap on. And she was like, oh my God. Yes. And she just was like, I want it. I want to put it on. I want to do it.
I want to do it.
And so we were like, okay, like I was gonna do it, but
And it was so cool.
Oh my god.
Because she's standing there, and Tori and I, like a pit crew at a fucking indie race, are suiting her up.
I'm on one side, you're on the other, and that's how this strap-on works too. Because if you pull too tight on this side, then this side gets too loose. So
it's a leather one that has buckles in it.
Yep.
Probably not the best kind in the world, although it's a really well-made one. But we have since found some more streamlined ones. But yes, but what was cool about it for effect is we're both like fondling her ass and stuff while we're getting these straps on just right.
Her ass,
and she was getting turned on by that. She's like, oh my God. Oh.
Just by putting the fucking thing on.
Yeah, just from putting it on. And then.
But then she was so funny when she like looked down and saw that she had a dick. She's like, oh my God. She like kind of covered it up.
Cover it up with a fig leaf post.
Yeah. She was like, oh my God. And I was like, yeah, so you ready? And she was like, okay. And she went to try and fuck me. But she like, it didn't make sense to her, like how to move her body like that. It really is total different movements for guys versus girls when you're fucking. Just different muscle groups that you use. And so she's like, oh, I was like, here, I'll help you. Just you lay back and let me ride you for a little bit. And she's like, okay. So then she lays down and I straddle on top of her and I'm fucking her. And she's just like, oh my God, she's looking up at me and she's grabbing my hair and grabbing my tits. And I'm just like riding her. But, you know, it doesn't feel as great because it's not, somebody fucking me, you know, I'm just kind of riding a dildo. But it was still a lot of fun. And you could tell she was like, this is weird.
It was exciting because just knowing that it was her first time and she was that excited about it. Yeah.
I was like, well, let me put it on. I want to fuck you a little bit. She's like, yeah, you put it on. And so I did. We took it off of her and I put it on me. This all is like starting to get blurry at this point. I think the shots have like
the
sunk
shots are taking effect,
and with the strap-ons out and but I put it on and
now Tori knows how to use it.
I do, and she's laying there on the bed and I remember like her legs were almost straight, which I know feels very good for a woman, but she was on her back and I go to like put it in, she's like lube, and I was like, oh duh, like I forget that it feels like when you get it on, it's like bing, it feels like it's a part of you, but you're also like, I actually can't feel anything about this. So I was like, yeah. So I'm like putting the lube on. The lube was already out because we used it for me too. And I lube it up and I just stick it in. And I got in a rhythm, man. Yeah. And I was just like,
it was
boom,
really cool
boom,
to watch.
boom, boom, boom. And she's like, and then it's also, I just think that it's super sexy when a girl is fucking you. So I was just like, I was in my zone. I was feeling good at that point. And I fucked her until I was like done fucking. I couldn't do anymore. You know, again, different muscle groups that I don't work out very often. And so I roll off and you can tell she wants to keep going. But I was just like, Kendra, I gotta go to sleep. Dude, I'm so exhausted. It's got to be 5:30 at this point.
Yeah. But you offered her, spend the night with us, spend the night. Just let's all go to sleep. And
she's like,
no. And
I'm going to want to fuck. I'm just going to want to keep fucking if I stay here.
She's probably right about that.
She did. She was genuine with that answer. She's like, you just, I'll get an Uber home. No, we're going to take you home. We're going to take you home. And you did.
Yeah, I took her home. And it was still dark out. But we get on the freeway and there's rush hour traffic. So now we're sitting in traffic and stuff like, holy shit, it's actually the next business day.
Oh my goodness. And that's how it's done, my friends.
Yes. And
I didn't hear you come in.
No. When I came back.
Passed out so fast. I don't think I heard them leave. That's how quick I fell asleep.
Right. You were out and yeah, so.
That was
It was a fun night.
You met your match in sex world.
Yeah, that's that just going until you just can't go no more. It's pretty.
That's the way to do it. So guys, that is what we have for you today.
What have we learned here today?
Fuck until you can't fuck anymore.
Fucking is the best thing to have.
The other thing is, we always have the expectations talk. Always do it. But sometimes expectation and reality are so far from each other. And you just have to remember to be in the moment, to go with the flow, and remind yourself that the expectations is just a preparation. It's just to get yourself in a mindset, but don't miss out on things. Don't let something pass you. If the situation changes, go with it.
Right.
Don't be afraid to be open to something new and something unexpected, and just play.
Yes.
And have fun.
There's
And fuck till you can't fuck no more.
There's a lot of philosophy out there from way back to the Aristotle BC times that talks about that. And that's why you got to live for the moment, because all the preparation in the world is
not going to prepare you for what is actually going to happen.
The element of surprise.
The element of surprise.
Right. And we were pleasantly surprised in this case and loved it. That's what we've got, you guys.
Well,
and
sorry it's been so long.
Yeah.
Genuinely sorry.
Yeah. But it's a long show, too. This was quite a sex scene.
I hope not too sexy.
Right.
But we will do our best to get another episode up as quickly as possible.
Right. We're trying to improve on that.
Yes.
And that's all we got.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Much love. We'll see you next time.
Talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye.